All right. Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the 411 Sports World Network. I am Mr. 411, and you can see not the only person in the building today. We got a studio full of wrestling fans here. So look on the screen right above me. You see a gentleman with an Austin 316 shirt. That is LT, Larry Stone Cole.
How's
And
everybody doing?
that's right, that's LT right there. And then also the homie call himself Tay, Mr. John Tay. He is in the building and he's ready to talk about SummerSlam as well. All right. Hey, LT and Tay, before we get this party started, hey, we want everybody to do the following. We definitely appreciate you tuning in, but make sure you do a couple things that don't cost you anything, and that's to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Make sure you share, because sharing is caring, and all those things help keep the network going. Also, check us out on TikTok, Mr. 411. Or you can scan that QR code right there on the screen, or you can just type in Mr. 411 as it's listed right there. Same thing on Instagram, Mr. 411. So we're on the gram, we are on TikTok, and we are currently on live right now on YouTube. All right, let's get Josh back in here. All right, Josh, you trying to get out of the Hell in the Cell, but you know you can't do that. You can't get out of Hell in the Cell.
Y'all can see me?
Yes, sir. We see and hear you loud and
Okay.
clear. And I
I
know
don't
you all
know
can't
what
wait.
happened.
That's all right. We got you back now. It might have been the might be that new faction that showed up on Monday night. They got a hold of you. Yep,
They need to let me go.
I heard that.
They need to let me
Okay.
go.
All right. Let's make sure so we get the anybody we got earbuds, anything like that. We can roll with those.
See if I can connect my shit.
All right. We getting everything lined up here, ladies and gentlemen. Just let me know when we good.
We good.
All right, there we go. All right, we back and rolling. All right. Again, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, share, because sharing is caring. Do all those things for us, for One Sports World Network. We're going to talk about SummerSlam. SummerSlam. All right. Oh, let's try to get the volume too, guys. All right, SummerSlam. We're going to cover that today. It's going to be a huge card here. 7 matches, 7 big matches on SummerSlam. All right, we're going to get to that in just a second. We're gonna play one quick video here. We got to get this ad in. Heavily Spa Mobile, all right? And we'll fire it away.
Is it time for massage? Of course. Come on out to the best of the best day spa in Miller, Georgia. Heavenly Spa Mobile is located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, Building A, Suite 101A. You may go online to heavenlyspamobile.com to see my availability and schedule your future appointment online. Don't wait too late. You might miss out. Look forward to seeing you soon. Happy pampering.
All right, Latanya from Heavenly Spa Mobile. We thank Latanya and Heavenly Spa Mobile for everything that they do. Where relaxation is the key. All right, SummerSlam this Saturday, April 3rd. Is a huge card, ladies and gentlemen. We have title matches galore. We have grudge matches galore. And so we'll get the card up on the board so the gentlemen, so the panel here can just scan it real quick. You have the main event with Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa for the undisputed championship, and then we have all of the other big matches on the card. So we're gonna kick things off first with the women's championship. All right, Bailey and Nia Jax LT, kick us off.
Nia and Bailey could do anything. They could go any different way, but right now Nia is very strong. She actually could beat Bailey and take the belt. If Nia wins, you could turn her counterpart right now, which is Tiffany Stratton. You could turn a Nia and Tiffany match. They could turn against each other, and they can have a great card even after the paper.
Sorry, had a little technical difficulties there. Go ahead, LT.
Yeah, Nia could beat Bailey, but it could go any different direction. Nia is very, very strong right now, and she's probably doing the best of her career at the moment. But if Nia wins, you could turn that into Nia and Tiffany Stratton feud, even after SummerSlam.
So with Bailey, do you think it's a chance that there's going to be interference for her to lose the title, or do you think that Nia can just win a clean match?
It would be nice to see Nia win the clean match, but then Bailey could retain too. Bailey could retain with having some outside interference. It could really go any different direction.
Yeah, it definitely can. Let's see here. Langston, let me see, Langston, you had anything you want to throw in on that?
Um, I hope that it's a clean match. I would love to see Nia win the title. I think she deserves it, but it's true Bailey could win from outside interference, but also Bailey could lose that title from outside interference. And I'm kind of curious to see what direction they want to take Tiffany Stratton in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, with Tiffany Stratton, because she's what, she just only been wrestling maybe 3 years now, if that. Um, and she just came up through the NXT system, and man, the fans have taken to her over the last couple months since she's been on the SmackDown roster, and well deserved for her. Um, Matter of fact, just a little nugget. This is her second time trying to get into WWE, and the first time she didn't make the cut, but she tried out again and got through. So this is huge for her. Yeah, with her winning that Money in the Bank, where you can cash in at any time, any moment,
Anytime for up to a year.
for a whole year, right? So it's like any opportunity, any opportunity where Bailey is having matches or defending her titles or whatever the case may be, it could be a non-title. She can cash in at any time, and so you have that threat there. Now she's supposed to have a pact made with Nia Jax. How strong do you think that bond is going to be there? Where Nia's been kind of sticking up um, for her right now and not letting Bailey get the best of her. But do you think, Tiffany? Do you think this bond is a really true bond here? Or is it just one direction?
My personal opinion, I think when it comes to a title, I don't think that's gonna last. I don't see it lasting because if she doesn't keep the pack, she gives herself a chance to actually get the title. If she does, then who knows when the next time she's gonna have that chance. I mean, of course you've got up to a year, but if you can go ahead and take that chance now and it's a chance that you can actually get it, why not?
Yeah. What about you, LT?
Yeah, with Tiffany having that briefcase, if Nia was to win it, they could play against each other to where she could cash in on Nia at any time.
At any given
Yeah.
time. And it would be nice to see her cash in at the end of that match. It would be nice to see her do it at the end of the match because she has a better advantage.
She does, but I think they're going. I think they're going to let Tiffany hang on to that for a while. I don't think they're going to let her cash in right away because they just did that angle with Priest.
They did. They did.
Oh yeah, when Priest cashed in at WrestleMania,
Sure.
right?
Right after he won it.
Right after Drew won the title over Seth. So
Correct.
yeah, and you know what? On the women's side, right? And the history is like, there's a history of the women cashing in almost right away. They win it, and a couple weeks later they cash in, or sometimes that same night. So I do, I am anticipating this to be maybe a tease of where she may try to cash in, or they may show like facials kind of showing her expressing of thinking about doing it, but then doesn't do it. Maybe something like that. So we'll see. I really anticipate Nia Jax winning the championship. She won Queen of the Ring. She's been on a roll all summer, and I think that it can culminate with her winning the championship at SummerSlam, which would be great for Nia Jax.
Yeah. And then I mean, if she wins Saturday night, and Tiffany does not cash in, but she teases them to make people think she's going to cash in, I think that will be a start to a good storyline to build up to maybe the next pay-per-view.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. That definitely can set the table for something else. It can set the table for the next SmackDown, uh, where we can start getting some answers as to why maybe she did tease that or something along those lines, and go from there. Also, what I'm thinking is that they're probably also having her pair up with Nia Jax because she's still kind of green, if you will, in the world of professional wrestling. Haven't been doing it that long, so being in these tag situations, being in here where she's in the corner sometimes, not necessarily just on her own all the way through yet, can also help her too, as far as just getting her better in the ring. Even though she's already like has superior athleticism, things like that. She was on the gymnast for USA, Team USA, things like that. But as far as wrestling, professional wrestling, psychology behind it, things like that. She can pick all those things up while still having that Money in the Bank uh, briefcase with her. Because she also got to get that briefcase fixed because it was damaged a couple weeks ago.
Yes, it was.
So she may not want to cash in on beat up, briefcase. She may want to do what the women do. They call it bedazzle or something like that, or they put all them little things on it or whatever. So she
But
still got to get that going too.
but see, that can lead to a whole nother storyline. Even let's say Nia wins the title Saturday and loses, and now you have a whole nother storyline. So then she can still cash in the Money in the Bank title, just not with Nia. And then they still have her working with Nia because the NXT roster and coming to the main roster is a completely different thing.
Right.
Sure.
Oh yeah, great point. Well taken there. Because you're basically in the big leagues at that point. Fully because those shows come on. Right now SmackDown's on Fox, so she's on national TV
Exactly.
every Friday night. That's a huge spot to be in. But they really think high of her for her to be in that spot. So that's a good thing there. All right, so can we just get the official picks for this match, just to make sure everybody who's tuning in gets to hear that answer for you from all of us. I got Naya and Langston. Who do you have? And then LT.
I'll take Nia. It's a hard choice, but I'll take Nia in this. I think she deserves it, so I'll give it to her.
I'm gonna play the opposite. I'm gonna say Bailey retains.
Woo. All right. Well, Bailey, she can do it. She's one of the best ever. So she can definitely get it done. So that's the beauty of having this match too, right? It's not too
Yeah.
clear cut on who's gonna win, how it's gonna play out, and that's when you're talking about professional wrestling, that's what you want. All
Right.
right, so that's gonna be a good match. We'll see what happens there. Now, speaking of one, I think it's gonna be a tough one to decide for various reasons. So I can't wait to hear you guys take on it. And that is the Intercontinental Championship match. That is Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, defending the title against Braun Breaker. So we're gonna get the graphic up, and we'll let you start this one off, Tay.
Uh, Sami Zayn, I think I think he'll retain. I think this match is more so to put, how can I put it? I think
Oh,
right now most of Sammy's matches are to put his opponents over.
okay. All right. So you're saying that you think the match is to put opponents over, and
Mainly
and
his
that's
opponent.
right, his
Because
opponents. Okay.
because mainly majority of the opponents that I've seen him as of lately, a lot of them are just coming up from the NXT roster.
Okay.
And again, the NXT roster and the main roster is two different things. So they're still learning. So I think I think Sammy, I think he'll retain the title, but I can see that being a good match. I can see that being a real good match.
Yeah. All right. What about you, LT?
Completely the opposite. Braun has already lost one time at a pay per view. He's not going to lose two times. Right now, what I believe they're going to do, they're going to let Braun win, and then because they're going to put Sammy in a whole nother storyline. Sammy's going to come up in a different storyline completely. He's going to take 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month off, and then he's going to come back in something else we'll talk about later in the show.
All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about later in the show. Look. I'm making my notes right here. Later in the show. I can't wait to hear what else you got to say about this later in the show. Later on the show. Okay. All right. So we have it going, Sammy. We have it going, Braun. And man, let me tell you, this is wow. This is one that I was just sitting here like, man. For me, it's like, okay, Sammy has been defending his title. And he's been having these battles with Dragunov and let's go back to Chad Gable, right? Just having these tough matches, and then again now you have this young, Goldberg type of wrestler, right? With Braun Breaker, former Baltimore Raven. He's a freakish athlete. They're showing and displaying in the matches his speed as he hit the ropes, going back 3 or 4 times before he spears somebody. Like he's a freak of an athlete. And if you haven't watched Braun Breaker wrestle, make sure you tune in and check him out because he is definitely phenomenal. And I believe one day he's going to be the champion of WWE at some point. Uh, but for this match tonight, this match this weekend, SummerSlam, I do think I think Braun is going to win. Um, but like as Tay said, Sammy can pull it out. He's the ultimate underdog. So that's what makes this match so intriguing. Is that you on the surface it looks like, man, Braun's just he's got to truck him this time. He's gonna smoke him. He lost recently against him. He's coming back. He's gonna figure out a way to get it done. Um, and Sammy does seem like he's occupied. He seems like he's got the Jey Uso thing going on too. So he's trying to help over here, put out fires over there. And then he's got then you got a guy like Braun Breaker, sneak attacking him the last couple weeks on Monday Night Raw. So again, it's a toss up for me. It's going to be a fantastic match, but just for my prediction, I'm just going to pick Braun Breaker. So we're definitely not unanimous, what is great, right? That makes this card fantastic because we're not unanimous on the first match and we're not on the second one. So I'm gonna go with Braun Breaker with the upset, and I'm gonna call it an upset, even even though he's a super athlete. Sammy is the veteran here. He's been there and done it. Man, to beat Gunther, you know what I'm saying, who had this championship for multiple years in a row, he definitely is capable of beating Braun. But we'll see what the young man does if he can hold on. All right. Speaking of young men, Logan Paul, who was actually in a boxing match with Floyd Mayweather some years ago, if y'all remember that. Logan Paul is a media mongo. He's a superstar in the in the social media world, millions of followers and all that stuff. His brother Jake Paul is boxing. Logan gets in and out of that world too. But in the WWE, he's proven in a short amount of time to be a true wrestler. You know, a lot of times celebrities get involved in wrestling and they don't really deliver, if you will, like a full time wrestler does. But Logan Paul is a natural, and he's been the United States champion. Actually, he's the longest reigning champion in WWE of recent year here, with all the people that have won belts over the last year. He's kept his belt the longest, but now he has to defend it against LA Knight, who is definitely a fan favorite. Had a long road back to WWE, and a lot of people been clamoring for him to have his big moment. So, gentlemen, will he have his big moment and win the United States Championship over Logan Paul? LT.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's LA Knight's time. He has been able to keep himself relevant at the top of the card. I believe it's time for the belt change. I believe Logan Paul loses this. It could be by, LA Knight could win with Logan Paul doing some shenanigans. He could have his brass knucks. Anything could happen. But I believe LA Knight, I believe it's his time. I believe we're going to have a belt change, and I believe LA Knight is absolutely going to beat Logan Paul.
All right, what's going on today? What you got?
I, I think I think that LA is starting to find himself, and he's obviously putting in the work. He's obviously putting in the work, and for him to Logan Paul is an entertainer. He's still learning the business of wrestling. He's good at it, but
Yeah.
he's still learning. And I think LA Knight, I think that he wants it more. So I think he's gonna pull it off.
All right. So LA, and there's a part of me that wants to see Logan Paul keep the belt because he's such a good heel. And for those who are watching the program and may not know what a heel means, a heel is the bad guy, basically the one that takes the shortcuts and trashes the fans and says bad things about the cities that he or her wrestle in and things like that. So the heel, uh, the fan of heel in me wants Logan to keep that belt. He's also when he does is that every time he's on his own platforms and things like that, it's basically advertising WWE. Now, does he have to have the belt in order to do that? No. But the fact that he does have it, he shows up at the the UFC events or the boxing events that is his brother's boxing or something like that. Like, and he shows up with the US title. You know, that's just more TV time for WWE. But with all that said, I agree with you guys. I think it's time for LA Knight to have that huge moment. Stadium inside the stadium, it's going to be over 60,000 people at this match chanting his name, LA Knight, and it's going to be his moment.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, so we all have LA Knight pulling this one out. All right, let's see what else we have on the card, gentlemen. Let's get to another phenomenal match here. Let's go back to the women's side here. There's another women's championship match. Oh, where and it has a lot. There's a lot of layers involved with this match. It's not just any kind of match. It's not just any kind of match. even though Rhea Ripley is trying to come back and win her world championship from Liv Morgan. But there's layers here with the Judgment Day. Uh, Liv Morgan has really been tormenting uh, Rhea while Rhea was at home rehabbing, trying to get back. And by the way, she had to rehab at home because Liv jumped her, right, and injured her and forced her to have to relinquish her championship months ago, back in April. So with that said, all right, Liv Morgan defending against Rhea Ripley. LT, what's your thoughts on this one? And give us a little insight to the Judgment Day storyline, everything that's with this.
In this match, I believe that Liv and Dom have cooked up a plan. I believe that Dom's going to turn on Rhea, and he's also going to allow him and Liv to leave together, which in that instance turns Rhea into an absolute super heel, which in 3 or 4 months, she may get her chance to get the belt back. I believe Rhea is still going to end up at the end of the year with the belt, but I believe Liv's going to win this, and I believe Dom's going to be a big part of it.
Wow, so you believe Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom, is going to turn his back on Mommy, on
Yes,
Rhea?
absolutely. I believe him and Liv had cooked this up for a long time.
Boy, oh boy, you know what? You know already, Dominic Mysterio, he can barely even put the microphone to his up to his mouth, and the fans are just booing, right? He can't get any words out. So he's already getting the most heat of any wrestler. Um, the last what I'm gonna say multiple decades, right? He's really been not on the fan side of things, and for him to do this, to turn on Rhea, oh my goodness, that wow. I mean, I think they really would have to literally, and this happened in professional wrestling before, where you have to really get security for people when they do things that the fans don't like, that they really don't like. And boy, if he turns his back on, oh man, that's gonna be something, man. So, all right, so you have Liv defending the belt with a little help. What do you have there, Tay?
Um, I agree. I think that she'll retain the title with the help of Dom. With the help of Dom. I think that once Dom pulls this off, I think that is going to be the start of a downfall to the Judgment Day.
Oh, wow.
I think it's
Okay.
going to be to them to
But
them dismantling.
here's something else, Tay. Now, Liv was very instrumental in them getting the tag belts back. And she also did a whole lot of stuff in their little locker room, their little bloodline
The
cave that they
clubhouse.
had. She bought a PS5. She bought all kinds of things for them. Liv has been the reason that they were thriving while Mommy was gone.
Okay. So do you think she's trying to replace her?
I think Rhea is going to turn into an absolute super heel, and I think Liv and the Judgment Day are going to be together.
So LT, you think that the fans are gonna love Rhea or hate Rhea after this happens?
I I think Rhea is going to be the heel, but they're going to get on her side because who hasn't been jilted by a lover before? You get your emotions involved. Anything can happen. I think everybody is going to be behind Rhea, and in 3 or 4 months down the road, Rhea's absolutely going to take that belt back from Liv. But I don't think it's going to be at this pay-per-view.
I don't see it happening at this pay per view either.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man. I think that, oof, boy, yeah, you guys are right that Liv has been helping the Judgment Day, right? Because even though she left the hotel key for Dom and things like that, and didn't Finn Balor grab that hotel key?
He did.
I'm curious about what happened with that key. I mean, I know he claimed that he grabbed the key because um he was trying to just protect Dom, but it's kind of ironic that Liv helped Finn Balor and JD McDonough win that tag team championship, And then Finn came back the next week and was telling Damian Priest like, hey, now Liv really has helped us. Judgment Day brought more gold. I wonder if he got something to do with this too. And so there's gonna be a lot of questions answered on at SummerSlam, I believe. But yes, I also see an angle here where Liv. I think they'll keep the Judgment Day. It may not be the Judgment Day that we're used to seeing. It may be just another slight version of it with Liv leading the Judgment Day with JD and Finn uh and Carlito in the Judgment Day, just another version of it where at some point Rhea will probably go out on her own and we'll talk about something later on with Damian Priest, but maybe he goes off on his own at some point too. But they still keep that Judgment Day together, just in a different form. So, but for my prediction, I agree with you guys. I think Liv is going to keep the title. It looks like it's set up for Rhea to come back, to a major, one of the big fours, right? WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble. But for her to come back to that major, one of those major fours, and win her title back. But it just feels like that's too good to be true right now. I feel like she's gonna, like you say, she's gonna get derailed, and I wouldn't be shocked if it's Dominic being involved with that, um, because Rhea, even though she claims that's her Latino heat, you know, Liv has really kind of shown a different angle. Like y'all get what I'm saying? Like it seemed like Rhea was the man, and I think Liv is coming from a different angle, trying to make Dom feel like he's the man. And I think that's where he's gonna go to.
I
All
can
right,
agree with
gentlemen. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one though. I want to see how it unfolds. There's just so many layers in there with that. All right, we got another match to talk about. One, two, three, four. We got three more to go. Um, I'm gonna let you pick one, Larry. What match you want to hear? What match you want to cover right now?
We already talking about it. We might as well get into it. Let's get into Damian Priest and Gunther.
All right, World Championship. Damian
World
Priest.
Championship. I was all in for Gunther to win the belt here. And I do believe that he is going to get the belt. Damian Priest versus Gunther. Gunther's going to take the belt from him and Gunther's going to hold on to it. But then something else they said that's still sticking in the back of my mind. 3 weeks they have the bash at Berlin, which is in Gunther's hometown.
Right.
So if something happens, Damian, some type of disqualification, something happens, Damian retains. Gunther gets his rematch at the Bash at Berlin and wins the belt in his hometown. For Gunther to
That
win at home, it would just be absolutely huge. I do believe Gunther's going to get the belt, but I'm still not sure it's going to happen at SummerSlam.
very compelling points. And before I pass over there to you, Tay, I'm gonna say this. Like it almost seems like it's just again it's lined up too. It's just too good to be true right now because
Right.
Gunther he's held that Intercontinental Championship for 2 years straight. Right, he finally loses it at WrestleMania. He gets he enters the King of the Ring, wins the King of the Ring, and usually if something like that happens, you're lined up to be the next champion, the next world champion.
Sure.
Uh, is and then for it to be at this one of the big four, SummerSlam, it just seemed like it just lined up too good. And also Damian Priest, right? He's been at this for a long time. He has a long road, a long journey into just to even get to WWE. He went through a lot of the what they call independent uh wrestling leagues, all the independents around the world basically. Finally worked his way into the NXT, uh built himself up, end up joining Judgment Day down the line under the tutelage of Edge, and has become a superstar. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And for him to have that big moment and win that world championship at WrestleMania, it just seems like it would just be too premature for him to lose that belt right then and there. And people have been questioning him as a champion. So what better way for him to have more credibility to have him another championship victory at a major event and to be the guy that is dominant as Gunther is. I think we all can agree that Gunther is arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, if you put a list together, he's got to be in your top 4 or 5. Some people may even put him at 1 or 2 in the world today, and put him at 2 is a stretch because someone can argue that he's number 1. So for him to beat him, that would give Damian Priest that huge victory. So I'm leaning toward Priest winning. I have no idea how it's going to happen, other than it'll probably be something like I wouldn't be surprised if they had something like a double DQ or something like that because they just been brawling lately.
Sure.
And whatever the way it ended on Monday, where it was nothing but fists flying all over the place. They can have a wrestling match and then a fight break out, and
Mhm.
they can't handle the 2 guys, and then they have to get back at it. So I'm gonna lean with Damian Priest holding on to the title. What say you, Tay?
I agree. I believe that Damian Priest will retain the title at SummerSlam. And at the Bash in Berlin, I think that Gunther, I think he'll get it then. I think that he'll get it then. And I in that happening, I also think that him winning that title at the Bash at Berlin, I think that it's gonna be partly played by some type of interference from somebody in the Judgment Day.
Okay,
And I say that because Damian Priest at this point right now doesn't need the Judgment Day to stand out.
No.
And also, like when we was talking about the real situation, she doesn't need the Judgment Day to stand out. The rest of them need each other. So I see, I see him retaining this Saturday, but
okay.
Mr. Berlin, I see him losing it, and I really feel like it's gonna be a situation to where somebody from the Judgment Day interferes and costs him the title.
That's a good
And
point
that
because I know.
and that
Oh,
may
go
be
ahead,
the
Larry.
start of him leaving the Judgment Day too.
I,
Yeah, because he has been lately saying I need to do this I need to do this myself. I need to do this myself. I need to win this myself. People doubting me. They think
Sure.
I always need help. And then Finn was taken back by it, like, hey, what you mean you don't need our help? That's what we do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We help each other. We interfere in each other's matches. I'm putting words in his mouth, but that's what they do. And so yeah, I can see that. And Finn, remember, just past Monday night, just the other night, he wrestled Gunther. It was an excellent match too, but he fell short. He softened him up a little bit, and he said, "Hey, let me do this myself." So that seems like that's the running theme within the Judgment Day as well. Doing trying to do things on our own within the group, but let's do it ourselves. So definitely can see where maybe I think the person would be Finn if it was going to be somebody that's going to try to help, and we'll see where it goes from there. And hey, before we move on from that though, um, let's be official on it though. We all think Priest is going to keep the title, but is he going to win the match?
I believe Priest retains. Yes,
Okay, but do you think he'll win the match? Because he can still lose by disqualification, but keep the belt.
you are correct.
I don't see. Well, I don't feel like he'll get disqualified. I believe he's going to win the match. I'm not saying that it's going to be a straight up win, but I believe that
Okay, so it's a win with a little help. Okay, is that what you are too, LT? Win with help, and that's not the way he wants it done.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, guys, and that's what we want to make sure that was out there, and we all agree with that. So there we go. All right, man, this match right here coming up. Well, boy, it's been building for a while now, and that's Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. I can't wait for this match. For one, do you think this will be the last match on the card, gentlemen? You can give me a quick yes or no on that. Do you think it's going to be the last match?
No,
No.
I it'd be in the last match. I think that
no.
the yeah, I think that the I see that maybe being maybe mid card. I see
Okay.
it maybe, but I don't see that being the main event.
Okay. Oh man, with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, they've been going at it for the last, I don't know, 6 months now, and due to injury, right, not being cleared, due to an injury, that by the way, Drew McIntyre, uh, put on CM Punk, so he had to rehab, really rehab, and really not be able to wrestle in the ring, all the way up to maybe a week or so, or maybe a week ago, he was cleared, like last week. So he's cleared, and that's when they made it official for this SummerSlam match. But there's just a lot going on with this, LT. What all is going on between these two gentlemen, and then your predictions?
CM Punk and Drew, see, they're going to have a great match no matter what happens. But the oddball out is Seth being the referee. Seth being the referee could make anything happen. Seth could accidentally hit CM Punk in the head, which spurs their match down the road. Seth could Seth could fight CM Punk later. Anything could happen. They could do a swerve very easily on this match. It's going to be a great match, but somehow Seth is going to be involved in the ending. He's going to have to count one of them out, and he's not going to want to. And then that's going to lead up for the next matches.
All right, all right. So yeah, you know, again, they Drew McIntyre injured CM Punk earlier in the year on a with a wrestling move. Made fun about it. Uh, Put a lot of videos out on social media making fun about CM Punk being injured. And by the way, CM Punk is not liked by Drew McIntyre on or off screen. Seth Rollins doesn't like CM Punk on and off screen. CM Punk was one time a huge superstar in WWE. And then there was some things back and forth with him and the company, and he left the company and said some bad things about the company, and then years later he's now back, and so there's wrestlers that do not like the return. But with all that said, from the moment he came back, Seth Rollins was one of those people that did not like the fact that CM Punk has returned to WWE, and that WWE even allowed it to happen. And then Drew McIntyre is the same thing, talking about in the locker room, how he is off camera, things like that. So there's some real animosity here, and it's playing out in the wrestling ring. And now to have all three of them in the ring, something combustible is going to happen. And I just, man, I was shocked when they said that Drew was going to be the referee. Tay, what do you think about this bout, man?
Um, so CM Punk and Steph have problems. Drew McIntyre and Steph got problems. Everybody got problems with each other in this match. This match can go any kind of way, but Steph, I think that Steph will more so try to sabotage Drew over CM Punk. But I think that at the end of the match, I think it's going to lead up to maybe like a triple threat match at WrestleMania or something like that. Because the three of them, they're too big of stars to not be in that type of match. And for them to be in a match like that, it would have to be a WrestleMania match. But I really see Seth trying to sabotage Drew more so than than CM Punk.
Really? Okay. You think he has more against Drew than CM Punk? That's a good. I mean, that's an interesting point. Because I do remember like there was a time where things were lining up for CM Punk and Seth, for WrestleMania, and then of course the injury happened and all that. So, do you think maybe it's because of that? Maybe because Drew has kind of derailed that opportunity for Seth to get his hands on CM Punk.
I think so. But then I also think that maybe it's a way for Seth to be able to say, he's the reason that he won, and that can build a whole nother storyline between Seth and CM Punk. Because
Yeah.
whether Drew McIntyre loses and he continues to whine and cry that he lost, and it gives him a reason to be like, I really did lose because somebody interfered and cost me the match,
Right.
Right.
which
Yeah.
into the triple threat match. Because now they have a chance to all get in the ring and get at each other, and there are no rules. The match is not over until there's a winner. There is
Yep.
no disqualification.
That's
So
right.
I
Not a
think
triple threat.
they're leading up to something like that, which would be which would be a good moment to have that match at WrestleMania. I think that would be a WrestleMania caliber match, and I see Drew McIntyre lose.
All right. So you have Drew losing on Saturday. I mean, you got CM Punk winning on Saturday. Excuse me. Let me just put it that
Yeah,
way.
I
All
see
right,
him Punk
LT.
on.
Yeah, I'm also leaning CM Punk. I don't know what kind of shenanigans are going on, but I believe CM Punk's going to get the W.
Man, well, man. After the first two matches, we all on the same page with the next four. We have one more to go. I think CM Punk's going to win too. Now, of course, we picking winners, but it's even harder to pick how it's going to play out. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? That's kind of like those people who make friendly wagers. You know, on basketball, football games, and things like that. You can pick a team winning, but then what's the spread? You know what I mean? Can you pick against the spread? So, that's the part about this that we are still going to be intrigued about. So just because we, have our winners and agree on that, it can go different directions on how it gets there. So that'll be, I'm more curious about how all these matches are going to end than anything else. And
Mhm.
speaking of being curious of how a match is going to end, let's go ahead and close things out today with the main event, which is this new bloodline led by Solo Sokoa. He's challenging WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes, and this is going to be a heck of a match. The bloodline storyline is now revamped with this bloodline 2.0 with Solo, and then with Tongaloa. What is it? Tongaloa, and who's the other one?
Tamatonga and Jacob
Tamatonga,
Fatu.
right? Right, Tamatonga and Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf man. And by the way, Jacob Fatu is a monster. Um, he's an absolute beast, man. So Cody has his hands full against the Bloodline. Kick us off there, Tay. What do you think about this match? How you think it's gonna go?
I hate to say it, but I think Cody will lose the title. I think
Hold on,
Cody
hold
will
on,
lose.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, say that one more time for the camera.
I think Cody's gonna lose. I don't want him to lose, but I think he's gonna lose. For one, he's already finished the story. He came back for a title. He has the title. The story is finished. There's really nothing more that he can do. And with this new bloodline, I see them going in a different direction. I think once this match happens, because he's gonna lose from interference. They're going to try to tear him apart. So he's gonna lose from interference. But I see them going a different route once it's over. And again, like I say, Cody has finished the story. So if he loses the title, he can walk off in the sunset.
Woo, boy, that was a bold prediction right there. So you have Solo as the world champion, and again, like Solo is a credible challenger. Don't get me wrong on that. I just didn't. I mean, so many people love Cody and everything. I was just shocked to hear that. And
I'm a Cody fan. I'm a fan of
yeah,
Cody, but see him. I don't see him retaining the title. I don't.
all right, boy, that is huge. All right, okay. All right, let's go to LT. Who do you have winning this match?
Since I already have a selfie with Cody, I have to pick Cody to retain. Cody has to retain. Cody's going to win. Then he's probably going to get beat down by the bad bloodline. Something's going to happen. Then you're going to have the extra parts of this whole story. You've got KO, you've got Randy Orton, you've got Jay. Anybody could come out to help save Cody at the end after the bloodline's beating him down. He wins the match, but then they beat him down. So you can have all these run-ins at the end. But here's the question. Where does Roman come back? Does Roman come back at the end to start up the Roman good bloodline versus the Solo bad bloodline? Where does Roman come back? And when is the question? He could come back at the end after it's all over. KO and Randy Orton and Jay could come out there and clear the bloodline out, and then Roman could come out. Or Roman could come down to save Cody. You know, you put two superheroes together.
Mm-hmm.
You put Iron Man. You put
Batman and Superman. How about them?
there you go, Batman and Superman together. You got two superheroes together fighting the bad guys. So it could go any different way. I still believe the question is, when does Roman come back? When does he show up?
Ooh, that's a great question. Let's kind of tackle that. I'm. It just feels like he should come back at SummerSlam. Uh, at one point in time, I thought The Rock may come back at SummerSlam. Uh, and maybe it's The Rock that comes back, and maybe The Rock aligns himself with Solo and all those guys. Or maybe, or guess what? Maybe The Rock comes back and he aligns himself with Solo and those guys, and then Roman comes out. You know, after the major beatdown from all those guys beating down on Cody, maybe he does come out the end and help Cody at that point. I mean, it's so many different directions it can go, man. It's just hard to call it.
And this is also the part where I was talking earlier about Sammy. You could actually write Sammy into the good bloodline. You know, you got Roman, you got Cody. You could use Roman and Sammy and Jay and Jimmy. That's where Sammy could come back to help the good guys out against Solo and Jacob Fatu.
I tell you what,
It
too,
could be
guys. Go ahead, LZ. Finish your thought
It
there.
could be the good bloodline versus the bad bloodline. And then that story could go a whole different direction away from Cody.
Yeah, definitely could. They could roll into Survivor Series in the
Mm-hmm.
war games. But
Right.
also with KO, getting taken out one week, Randy taken out another week. They may not even be. They may be in the hospital right now, and that's where Sammy can come into play. But then there's still a numbers game. Do we know if Jimmy Uso is going to come back? Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. What about Brock Lesnar? Could he come back? Could he come back and help Cody? Because he beat Cody down for 3 months, but at the end he finally, he said that Cody earned his respect. So maybe a Brock Lesnar shows up and helps Cody. But Cody's gonna need somebody to help him. Because the way this bloodline is just, destroying people, it's gonna take somebody, uh, somebody at the top of the food chain to help this guy out.
Cody's gonna need a lot of
Um,
help.
yeah, Cody. So Cody, according to Tate, Cody's gonna lose the Solo, and boy, if that happens, man, the bloodline they're gonna be unstoppable. Uh, LT, you have Cody retaining,
I do. I have
and
Cody retaining.
yeah, and I have Cody retaining. There's a part of me that want to see Solo with that championship. I will go on record and say this: I do think Solo's going to win the world championship at some point. Uh, I just right now I'm just not thinking it's going to be this week. But man, there's a part of me that says, man, Tay, I hope you're right on that one because that would just flip everything over if Solo has that championship. And there's got to be rematches, and then who else is in line, all that good stuff. So they can really be a takeover if Solo gets his belt. So I'm definitely going to be good, sitting right there in front of the TV checking it out. Man, great job, gentlemen. We made it through the matches, and again, it's 7 matches. Normally, SummerSlam has more than just 7. So I'm anticipating these 7 matches to all be, really hard hitting, long matches. I don't think these are going to be any quick matches, with this card, with it being 7. Normally it's way more than that. So for them to fit this into 3, maybe 3.5 hours or so, it should be pretty good. So you should be entertained on all of them.
Sure. And
Also, it's the oh,
a
go ahead,
couple of
LT.
things they said was they said that the pre-show is going to be 3 hours long.
Oh wow, okay, yeah,
Now
this
they've
is serious
also
business.
said that this is probably going to be the last year that it's going to be one night. Next year they're going to make it 2 nights.
They are, and it's going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Sure.
So it's going to be 2 nights. And an early prediction: Chad Gable will win the Intercontinental Championship next year at SummerSlam, uh, in his hometown. He's got a lot of other things he got to deal with right now with the Wyatt 6, but he's gonna somehow get that Intercontinental Championship that he's been trying to get this past year. But he'll win it next year at SummerSlam on night 2. Oh man, that's great. But for SummerSlam to switch to 2 nights, it's gonna be another. It's definitely gonna be another WrestleMania. All right. So, any closing remarks Tay, before we roll?
I
Great
think
show,
Saturday is
fellas.
going to be. I think Saturday is going to be a great show. I'm curious
Yep.
to find out if the predictions are correct, and I really wanna see the outcome of this Coda match.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. LT.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely going to have a checklist and go down the checklist and see who got them right and who got them wrong.
Yep, and we will do that. We'll do a follow up episode next week. All the predictions, we're going to add them to the comment section, so they'll be sitting out there. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, share, because sharing is caring. Check us out, 411 Sports World Network on YouTube. All right. Make sure you check out our guy Keith Morgan, PT with Grit. Make sure you check him out as well. PT with Grit. He has workout plans. He has um, um, diet. I'm gonna call it diet, but it's more of a life changing way of eating that he can formulate that for you as well. So make sure you check out Keith Morgan, www.pt with grit.com 478-875-9179. Keith Morgan, check him out. So you can end up looking like The Rock. All right. LT, Tay, appreciate you being on. Everybody, we thank you for tuning in and listening. Make sure you subscribe, like, notification, share, because sharing is caring. And we will see you all next week as we take a second look at to come back with our follow up of SummerSlam 2024. All right, we out of here. Take care. See you soon.
All right, guys.